Wednesday, May 17th, 2023, regular meeting of the T.B. Scott Free Library Board of Trustees. Is there any correspondence to share? Yes.
We got a thank you from the Humane Society and from the food pantry for the donations that we do through our Blue Jean Day on Fridays. Send those around. And then when I attended the Wisconsin Association of Public Libraries conference, she sent us a thank you for meeting with her, and then we won some books. So yeah, added those to our youth services department. So.
Okay. There doesn't appear to be any public comment. The minutes of the regular meeting of April 19th, 2023.
A motion to put on file.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on that?
They look great.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? They're approved. The unaudited monthly revenue and expense report for April 2023.
Looks good. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Just watching the electric bill all the time.
And that is.
Do we have any sense of of a trend, or is it?
Well,
just...
it usually goes down during the summer months, so it will go down. I know that at the Common Council meeting, excuse me, not the Common Council, Personnel and Finance, they're actually going to be, that's going to be part of the discussion that is on the agenda. So, because it's happening in all of our departments.
Right.
So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, that motion was made. That motion was made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That is approved. There are no policy reviews or updates. We do have an action item for endowment fund request from youth services.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Nothing further that needs to be added other than what we got in our packet. It's all pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Andrea, do you have any sense of how fast this stuff comes?
The longest wait is a 12 to 14 weeks.
Okay.
And that would be the furniture and possibly the sensory wall. But from past experience, typically the stuff comes a little bit quicker. I've never had it push out farther. There's a few items on there that say a 2 to 4 week. So we could see, if I will get these ordered obviously here in May. And then we should see it, some of it this summer for sure.
And then it says to finalize this, so is this, then that section is complete? Or is there any?
Yes,
Okay.
I feel like yes, and I strategically moved collections and shelves and some furniture so that that whole space could have a purpose and be utilized. And so I feel like at this point, yes, I've kind of got the whole space ready. In the Theme Learning Center, I've got some in-house books and things like that. We actually had previously purchased those. I'm hoping to see more reading in the library and things like that. Yeah, so I have some ideas for some.
So we anticipate that in the fall,
Yeah.
that's available for like new
Yes.
youth
Yep.
programs and things.
Yeah.
Yes,
Brilliant.
yes, yes,
Yep.
yep. And even this summer, some of the themed things that we have put together, we already have. So even though we're not gonna have all the furniture and the stuff, Tina and I are gonna go through and we're gonna find the right storage containers and the right things to get those out now, just so that they can start to use those things even though we don't have the Yeah.
An
So,
apparition.
yeah.
It was a detour all the way like down Riverside and all the way back. So it's like Merrill's the longest town ever.
We're just happy you're here. Cool. Thank you,
Yeah,
Andrea.
yep. So,
Katie, we were just discussing the endowment fund request from Youth Services.
Aha, okay.
That's where we are at.
And there's a motion.
Can I put that, I had a question.
Yeah, Rick?
I noticed that, two chairs, I guess that's a lot more than I'm used to spending on a well seat with 2 chairs. I just wondered if there's something special about them or what they're.
Yes. Yes.
Library furniture.
I mean, they're built to withstand young children. And the materials that they use, not only the construction of it, but also the material that is put on those items. Typically, that they're coated, they're Scotch guarded, and so for keeping things clean and manageable. That's
durability.
The durability
Yes.
factor.
Place they peed on.
Yeah.
Or other bodily.
And just for context, Rick, this is Elizabeth, this is actually pretty typically in line with that sort of education level furniture, although
Yeah.
Ryan may have even more information on that.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
There's, yep.
But it's not the stuff you have in your house.
It's meant for high frequency or high usage.
Right.
Yes.
So it's worth the extra cost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have a motion to approve the expenditure?
Yeah,
for-
there's a
for
motion.
this?
And a second.
And
seconded?
Darcy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for
All right, I
the
didn't hear that.
punchline.
That's okay.
No further discussion on that item? Okay. Motion was made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that has been approved. And discussion item, process for 2024-2028 strategic long-range plan.
And I have something that did not make the packets. Apologies. This is kind of an outline, kind of put together roughly preliminary. Notice at the top it says preliminary. And it's just, and I will go through it. Before I begin, in the past, the long-range planning process was facilitated by Art Lurch. We no longer have that resource. However, I have met with him, and he has agreed to guide me, and he has also agreed to come and meet with the board once we're at that point where we want to present things. He'll be available for questions. I will also be working with Erica Brewster from the Wisconsin Valley Library Service. She has facilitated some strategic long-range plans for other libraries, so she will be assisting with that as well. So the process that I have set in place is something that has been typically done here at the library. Starting next month, Andrea and myself and Maria, we will be meeting with other libraries throughout the state. Right now I have reached out to 3 libraries in the southern part of the state and 2 more to the north. They are similar in size, they are similar in service population, similar in square footage, similar in full-time FTEs, full-time employees. 3, yeah. So trying to find that commonality in, and the idea that we have, basically we were told we have like 3.5 floors, so trying to find other libraries that are similar to that where they have to staff either multiple layers this way or just because of how they are set up, they are broken up in spaces. Staffing, being able to make some comparisons with them and how they handle the staffing. So that is the reason why the libraries were chosen as they were. Then I will put together, we will have a questionnaire that the 3 of us will fill out individually. We'll compile that information. And then, as it states here in the process, I will then provide those summaries to you in later months. So, anyone have any questions? I know I just threw this out in front of you now first. It's brief. Yeah.
It's standard though.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it a
Yeah.
secret, is it a secret which libraries you're visiting?
No, I can tell you. Let's see. The southern part of the state is McGuanago, DeForest, and Monona. Yeah, yeah. And then north, Rice Lake, which that one actually surprised me, but it's 2 floors and they're similar in size and population. And then Chippewa Falls. So those are the ones I have reached out to. Now I do have other libraries as backups if those do not follow through. So
Cool.
okay.
Great.
Okay, discussion item number 2, the church property status.
So the church property status, it has been sold. Although the actual filing of the sale hasn't officially been put on the record, because if you look at it, it still looks like it's in the name of the individuals from Appleton. The new owner and the prior owner showed up at one of the city, at the city zoning, or no, excuse me, at the common council meeting. They did not vote on whether to rezone. They pushed it out, they tabled it to next month, because there was some question as to whether or not they can approve it or not. Initially, the council members were not going to approve it. The new owner and the prior owner were allowed to speak after public comment, and so they made the decision to withhold it. They would like to see a more specific plan. Right now, the new owner, his intended purpose is a museum. That's it. No definition of as to what type of museum, but it's going to be a private museum. Thus, the reason why it has to be rezoned from public to business.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's got Vincent Price written all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The new owner he has a California address, so my
Cool.
could. So
Is the new owner aware of the arrangement concerning the parking lot?
I talked with Tom Hayden, and he has not been contacted, so we're not certain that the new owner is aware of that contract. So here we go.
Could be fun.
Yeah, so it's a waiting game, so we'll wait and see what happens, and
Good luck.
and I'm following that, and so is Mike.
I bet.
Yeah. I'm puzzled.
Could be great.
Yeah, but hope so.
Rick's turned his mic on. Does he have something to add?
Well, I guess, I wasn't at the zoning or city plan or whatever it was that it got by in the first place. But
Yeah.
I don't think anybody came and spoke at that to begin with.
No,
So,
he did not show up. I was
and
there.
then for the city council meeting, there was one guy there, but he wasn't the one that would be involved at all in actually doing anything. He was the one who was trying to sell it. Of course, he wants to get it sold.
Well, no,
And
he's
I did.
the new owner was with him. They were sitting together.
Oh, because he never said anything.
No, he did not.
Okay, because, I mean, to me, this is my point of view, and this is why I initially was arguing against it. I mean, anything could end up in there. It don't, if it's his own business, that's totally up in the air. They can do anything they want in there that fits within a business model. And no, I don't know if that includes a bar. That could be a business. No, they have to get a liquor license, which might be tricky, but, it just was, it was so up in the air. There was nothing.
Yeah, once.
That I could see would
One-
make it that I could vote for it.
Yeah, if I understand correctly, once it's rezoned to business, that's it. It stays that way. And so if this new owner would sell it to somebody else, this somebody else could do whatever they want with it.
And
There's a
I
sex
don't,
museum in
I
Amsterdam.
don't
Thank
think,
you.
don't know what they could do to convince me to vote for it, but I don't know of anything right now. So
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean, I know that at Common Council, the
It could be.
understanding was that they wanted it to go to the next meeting, and they were requiring that the new owner has to have a specific, a more definite business plan or something that they could understand what's actually gonna go in there. They're giving him 6 months to do that. That's all I could get.
That's no one control that he could sell it tomorrow.
No, I know.
If he gets the rezoning,
Right,
you know, then the city is totally out of any power to do anything about it.
yep, exactly.
So to me, that's a little scary to have something between the library and the middle school that we have no say over. And neither would the library as an entity or the school.
Yeah, no.
So that kind of bothers me. Yeah, hey, Brian, do you think we could get the school to buy it?
Huh. Pass a referendum.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah.
Thing is if they don't talk with us about, or talk to the city about the whole parking situation, they won't have parking for that building.
No.
Well, what exactly is the parking situation? They don't have any.
Their contract allows them to park that one strip next, like that's
Just
adjacent to the
adjacent
building.
to, that, okay, that's what I was
But
thinking.
but it also then requires that they contribute to the maintenance
Right,
of the overall
which they did
parking
not,
lot.
which they have not done
Right, they're
up
already
to this
in
point,
arrears.
right?
The contract wouldn't necessarily travel with the new owner. I mean, that's not a contract with the new owner.
No,
Right.
That's the
the new owner has to start from scratch.
Which is why they have to talk to us.
Right,
If they want any.
and they haven't
parking.
talked to Tom, and nobody's called me, so.
On the other hand, if their business hours are only between 10 PM and 6 AM, how will we ever even know? Sorry, I know, the Amsterdam thing is an exaggeration, but just saying, it could, it would be nice to see the building
Yeah.
survive in some fashion, but at the same time, it's not a historic building, it's not on any registry, and whoever
Right.
buys it could just as likely level it and put up a banner or whatever.
Mhm.
So it is true, once it's rezoned,
Right.
game over, and,
Should be- Should be leveled in parking lot. It should have.
Oh, right,
That's what it should be.
oh, yeah.
Parking lot that's shared either between the school and the library or the.
Which is sad because it's, outside sad, take down some of that's beautiful and replace it with blacktop, but.
well, if you
it's
took
such
it,
a-
if somebody took it down and put up something that was like the gazebo, then there would be like a social center,
Yeah.
right? And that could be used for summer programming, outdoor
Yeah.
programming, and things like that. Could be used for a public space, but that would require the city to then, or somebody who was interested in creating a social space, and who knows what.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up in the air, but it's interesting to hear. Do we have any idea what the, it doesn't matter. I was gonna ask how much they bought it for, because last time that was entertaining too.
Yeah, all I know is they came way down on price.
Just as well, they
It was
paid
like, it was less,
for it.
I mean, I think it was less than 200,000.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I think, for some reason, I'm thinking 169.9 was the number I had heard.
wow. Well,
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Okay, strategic plan goals and objectives number 4. Information?
Yep.
Only, okay. Wisconsin trustee, essential number 1, the trustee job description.
Were we supposed to read this? No, I'm just kidding. Since I don't know, number 1 is to prepare for the meetings. It says prepare for and attend regular board meetings. So I'm thinking that meant I was supposed to read it.
All right, library director's report.
All right. We got the upcoming events. Things wind down for a little bit, just in May for youth services and adult services, and then we ramp up for summer reading. So we have adult summer reading going on. We've got youth services and the programs going on. We have our cover to cover book club that they've been regular. We've had at least 6 people coming every month, if not more. And Faith Martinson has been taking care of that. She's been doing an awesome job on that. our Critics' Choice movies, they're always a hit. They love the popcorn. And you know what? They enjoy the fact that they can get here on the bus. So they appreciate that. We appreciate that. So we're going to do some collaboration with the Friends of the Council Grounds State Park. I'm kind of excited about that. Kind of goes along with, I mentioned the Wisconsin State Park passes that we started to take part in.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, while there is a cost to us, that's part of, I consider that a collection development programming type cost. So right now we figured we'll start with giving, allowing people to have 2 passes a week that could be checked out. Perhaps if we see that usage is, like we see a lot of people coming in and they say, oh, they're all gone, perhaps we'll purchase a few more and add to that. So, and we can do that. We can purchase them at any time. They've offered that opportunity to us. So, yeah. Nothing from WVLS. The Friends had their book sale and it was a huge success. They've sold a lot of books, and rumor has it they wanted to know if we could set up a permanent space for a book sale place like the Marathon County Public Library. Unfortunately, I don't have the space.
Well, but also, I don't know how Marathon County Library does this, but there's a sales tax issue that then results when you have a year-round permanent installation.
Yeah.
And as long as we kind of keep that small,
That
just so it's
low-key.
the spinner,
Yep, right.
We don't, the regulations
Exactly.
don't kick in. But once it becomes larger, once it becomes a fully dedicated space, they're basically running a bookstore, and then there's a whole bunch of state regulations that kick in. So even though they've suggested it,
Yep.
it might be more bookkeeping
Than
than they realize it would be, and they may not want to take on that responsibility.
Very true.
Yeah. So as long as it's not a dedicated
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
then
Right.
we get away with this.
Yeah.
But-
And I've already mentioned that dedicated space might be lacking.
Yeah, space is an issue.
I barely have closets, so. But they will, we'll collect books again and have another sale in fall. They're all ready for that. So, knocking on wood wherever I can. We are fully staffed here at the library, and it's good. And we are currently, as I mentioned here, working on some training so that we have backups when we have people gone, things of that nature. I have, especially, like in our bookkeeping area, making sure that we have someone that's on board that can take that over if we'd have an immediate need for that. So, working on that. In that process, we're looking at job descriptions, making sure that everybody's trained and understands their responsibilities, and going over that with staff. As I mentioned, summer reading challenge, we're putting the fine-tuning marks on that, getting all of the materials ready and set up for both adult services and youth services. Adult services, we will have the chamber bucks available for prizes. And we are going to be doing another puzzle competition. By the way, that was a huge, huge success, the puzzle competition. And we've had people calling, asking when we're going to have it again. So we will have one at the end of, or during the summer reading. It's going to be, what do we call it, a multi-generational. So it's going to be more for families. And then we'll have another one, and we already are planning for another one in fall. So. Plans for the June 19th Staff Development Day are near completion. I just heard with Josh Luke from the fire department. We will have 3-hour training here at the library for that with him. And then we will be doing some team building exercises, and then we have some other related work with staff in the afternoon, and that will be full-time staff in the afternoon. The morning is a required session for all staff, so part-time people will be here in the morning. I attended the Wisconsin Association of Public Libraries conference in Oshkosh. It was good for me because there was a session on strategic planning. This is all new for me, so I was happy to attend that. I also attended another webinar this afternoon, actually, that's offered through the ALL and ALA and the United for Libraries section. Most of you should have received an email. Do you recall receiving? Okay. All right. Good. All right. The webinar I attended this earlier this afternoon was really good. It was well done, and again, talked about strategic planning. So lots of great resources. We have a new collection item in our library, as I mentioned, about the passes. They are on display then with our library of things that have now moved to the lower level, below the stairwell. And we will be putting together some signage to draw people in, and also do some PR work with that as well. So that's just a new move. Mentioned saving the date, August 26th, 12:30. We are scheduled to tour the From property. And they are willing to keep the space open until 2:30 because it is staffed strictly by volunteers. So our tour is at 12:30. It's about an hour, and then right after that I'll have a light lunch, and then we can be off and on our way.
August is so far ahead. Serious. Trying to get there.
All right, and I've already mentioned those United for Library resources, and then I mentioned the personal note of being a first-time grandma, and I'm loving it.
Congratulations.
How
There
many
you go.
pounds? How many pounds?
She was 6 pounds 6 ounces and 18¼ inches long, and she was 3 weeks early.
How little? 6.6.
And what's her name?
Her name is Elizabeth Grace. I'll take it.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all.
Yeah, so it's been great. Yeah, I've been loving
So it
it.
must be close enough that you can visit pretty
Oh,
regularly.
I live on the west side of Wausau. She lives on the east side. If there were to be a bridge from West Crocker Street, which I live on, to East Crocker Street, and they actually proposed a bridge there years and years ago, and they ditched the idea. But if I had a boat,
Kayak, you need borrow.
kayak, I could go from my side of the river to hers and just walk a few blocks, and I'd be there.
Well, there you go, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Might be worth the investment.
There you go.
Menards
I
has a sale.
I already told the family, I said, this is the grandma you're gonna have to watch out for. So. Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. I have no remarks, other than thanks for putting up with me running the first meeting that I've ever done.
Great job.
Wasn't it fun?
Good. All right. We are open for adjournment. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All right. Do we need to approve that? Yay, nay? On
Actually, you
adjournment?
don't. For adjournment, the chair of a meeting can
Yep.
call it.
Think we call it, yeah.
But let's do it anyway, because we're all,
Yeah.
because we're unified.
Yeah. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, it's one of the weird things that
We are
Robert's rules
adjourned.
doesn't require.